Hello fellow pirates, it seems that the second season of the One Piece live action has 8 episodes, and people already complaining about it again. Oh my god, it's way too short and stuff. But I already proved in this video that it could be very easily done in 8 episodes, and today we're talking in great detail about it. We're talking about each episode, what will happen in them, where will they end, and in the end you will agree with me. It totally can be done in 8 episodes, but of course more episodes would always be appreciated. Okay, first of all, where do we know this information from? So there was this casting call for several roles, and on the casting call for Miss Golden Week, they hinted at 8 episodes. That's where this information comes from. So I prepared a list, so everybody's on the same page and can read along with me. The Arabasta Saga has 222 chapters, 74 episodes, not far off from what we got in the East Blue. In One Piece live action season 1, we had round about 10 to 15 chapter per episode. So as you see, they turned 8 to 10 anime episodes into 1 hour Netflix episode. At first glance, it should totally be doable, turning 74 or round about 80 anime episodes into 8-hour content. So let's begin with the first 2 episodes. Like in the first season, I think the episodes will be paired. Every 2 episodes of the first season were paired. They had a setup for a story, and in the second episode, this setup got a conclusion essentially. Other than that, 3 and 4 fit together, 5 and 6 fit together, 7 and 8 fit very well together. So I prepared the season the same. So we have the prologue, the first 2 episodes, okay? The first episode could be called something like The Legend Has Begun. It begins where the live action stopped in Loketown. And I think we will get more Loketown, more like the anime, because Oda really wanted to do more Loketown in the manga. But he was so fixated on his I want to finish this saga in 100 chapters that he cut a lot from it. The things that are in the anime are actually what Oda intended to put in the manga. So we will get more time in Loketown, and it would be really fitting if we begin with a flashback like in the first season and see Kid Smoker at the execution scene of Roger from his perspective, and we see the other characters that we didn't saw in the first season because there were people being filmed there that weren't in the first season. And then essentially Loketown ending with Smoker, and also after Alabasta, Smoker is returning, so it gives off a great beginning to end of the season vibe, you know? Like having Smoker as a side character with Tashigi. So we're beginning with Smoker's flashback, making the Loketown story, and then I think we get to Rivers/Reverse Mountain, and the episode will end with the Straw Hats eaten by a whale. I think this is a good cliffhanger. It also tells the story of the Rivers Mountain already, and it can expand on the Loketown story. Also, I think we will not only get Smoker and Tashigi as a side character this season, but we could also get Ace as a side character this season, because he will get more important later. And if we have a more greater build-up, it would be great. So I think we could see already in episode 1 a glimpse of him, or in the end maybe a glimpse of Crocodile or something like that. So we get like a little bit of teaser of the season that was in the first episode also of the season 1. The second episode, Promises. This is not a title from any of the manga chapters, what they usually do, but many of these stories like Reverse Mountain, Whiskey Peak and Little Garden revolve around promises, so I guess it will be something about promises. Like the whole Buggy episode in the first season revolved around treasure. And of course, to conclude that, in episode 1 we see it would be around about 6 chapters from the manga and 8 episodes from the anime turned into 1 hour episode for the Netflix series season 2. Totally doable if you compare it to the first season. So we actually get the story of Reverse Mountain, which is very short in the manga and in the anime. It's only about 5 chapters and 2 episodes. Then we can straight ahead into Whiskey Peak. I think they will cut a lot from Whiskey Peak because there's a lot of things that could be combined with Little Garden or explained on the way to Little Garden. It really fits in the time. People really think that it could be cutted because of the time, but with my schedule right now here, and in the end you will agree maybe, it could be really done if you make a cut down version of it, because Whiskey Peak has only 9 chapters and 4 episodes. So cut down is very easy done. And then I would begin with the story in Little Garden. So essentially they begin the episode with being in the belly of Laboon and ending the episode with being trapped in Little Garden, you know what I mean, and with a crocodile teaser. So if we don't have the crocodile teaser in the first episode, we definitely have that here. The second episode, again, would just be a conclusion of 8 episodes of the anime. So this is easily done, guys. Easily done. Then we go to the second pair, the setup or complication. In episode 3, I would really go straight ahead from Little Garden to Drum Island, essentially, and completing the whole Little Garden story. We can even branch that more out, end it on any point during the illness of Nami. Either they arrive on Drum Island already, or they're just heading there and they talked about it in great detail, what they must do quickly and stuff. So I think they conclude Little Garden, which in the anime only had 8 episodes, so they have just 5 episodes left to tell, so that's very easy to do. After that, they could still do the first few things from Drum Island, the first 4 anime episodes. So they get from concluding Little Garden to arriving on Drum Island, and maybe even being told about the crazy witch that would be the solution for them. And they could even mention Ace in this episode. And then for the 4th episode, and you have to keep in mind that the episode 4 is the mid-season final, we have Luffy bringing Nami to Korea, ending with sailing away and setting promises for the upcoming conflict against Crocodile, and Ace meeting the Straw Hats in the future episodes. So we could at this point see Ace for the first time. It would still be 10 episodes from the anime turned into one Netflix episode. So again and again, it's so easily done when you compare to the first season, where they had exactly the same numbers. 8 to 10 anime episodes turned into one Netflix episode. And then we have the second half of the season, which completely can flesh out Arabasta. Because we have so much detailed scenes in the anime that aren't in the manga, and we can still put them in there and still get to the point of 10 anime episodes turned into one Netflix episode. So it's crazy, guys. It's totally doable. We have the next pair, Conflict. I would call it the Kingdom of Sand because it introduces Arabasta as a country. Of course, it starts fresh as they arrive on Arabasta, getting dressed and stuff, traveling to Rain Base, meeting our enemy here, and getting catched in a cage. That would be the cliffhanger for the episode. And then the 6th episode, I didn't came up with a great name here, but I would call it something like the Super Dark Squad quiz. It resolves around the ending I choose, because it was very difficult to pick a cliffhanger for that. I would say, okay, they escape Rain Base, Luffy gets wrecked essentially, they came up with the plan and stuff, and then they're doing the Duck Squad trickery in the end of the episode. For me as a child, it was really an episode where they didn't explain it first before they did it, and it was really like Ocean's 11 style. They're going in and you still keep wondering, okay, what could that be about? And it would lead us into a cliffhanger essentially for the upcoming conflict, because you essentially, in that scene, you have the enemy prepared for the Straw Hats, and the Straw Hats going into this with a trickery. And it sets off the whole, okay, we are not going in as one group, we're being divided into smaller groups, and the enemy is heading for that groups essentially. And that would leave us with the last 2 episodes. As we are arriving on the last episodes, it's so doable, it's a no-brainer, I guess. Nobody could argue after that it couldn't be done, I guess. So we have the epilogue, the ending, the last 2 episodes. I would call the 7th episode something like Hope. That's one of the names of the manga chapters. The whole part here resolves about hope and essentially the failure before the win. We get the rebels fight and they won't stop fighting. And I would resolve the whole episode about the fight from the Straw Hats except Luffy. In the end, Luffy appears, because until that we didn't heard of Luffy, I guess, for 2 episodes, and it would be like a little surprise for the end to set up the whole, okay, now it's happening, now bad boy get what he deserves. So Water Luffy appears will be the cliffhanger of this episode. And then the very last episode, I would call it like I Will Surpass You, because Luffy tries really hard in that episode. Also, it sets up quite a little bit of feeling for the future as well. And I will put here Ace, Whitebeard, Tashigi, and even a little bit of Blackbeard in there to teasing for the next season. But we definitely end where the anime ends as well, with Robin joining the crew and have this whole arc completed. So yeah, I think after this video, you can't deny it. It's totally doable with 8 episodes, and yes, it would be better with 10 or 12, and maybe we get that, or maybe not, but it's totally doable with 8 episodes. And this is the same for the future as well. I can make these for the next seasons as well, but it's totally doable. Don't lose hope and don't fall into the pit of, oh my god, they slaughtered my boy. Don't fall into the pit of disbelieving in them because somebody on TikTok complains about that it's only 8 episodes. So thank you for watching. We will continue this journey discovering the One Piece live action season 2, of course. I have plenty of more videos planned. If you see this video, probably I already met Kev at my place in Germany, so check out his channel to see more of that. So thank you again and let's set sail.